The nature of war had been shifting from limited warfare towards total war for many years. Military scholars and philosophers sought a way to describe this new kind of warfare. In the 1820s, the influential Prussian general and military scholar Karl von Clausewitz developed his concept of absolute war.
And in his mind, an absolute war was a war where there was an unlimited political objective, the entire destruction of the enemy's state, if necessary, the total eradication of their independence. Von Clausewitz thought absolute war was unlikely. He thought the strain it would place on societies would cause them to collapse. But of course, he had not foreseen the development of enormous nation-states by the turn of the 20th century.
Von Clausewitz's theory of absolute war anticipated some of the realities of war almost 100 years after he wrote it. But when the First World War introduced the world to warfare dominated by the industrial strength of the combatants, it was far more destructive than anything von Clausewitz could have imagined.
The scale is like nothing we've ever seen before in war, and so are the casualties that follow. But it's more than just the armies, it's about how economies are mobilised. For the first time, you have major command economies in Europe, where the government directs the production to support the war effort. There's a huge change in how society approaches the creation of economic wealth.
General Erich Ludendorff, nominally German First Quartermaster General and effectively overall commander, dubbed the new kind of conflict total war. It was the First World War that alerted Ludendorff and others to the possibilities of total war. But it was the Second World War that would demonstrate its catastrophic potential.
The Second World War fits the idea of a total war even more so than the First. Whereas in the First World War, the states, although well developed and able to put millions into the field, lacked certain features that the Second World War states have. In the Second World War, you have clearly totalitarian states, Nazi Germany, Soviet Russia, even Imperial Japan, who can mobilise their populations on a level never seen before.
Total war encompassed different dimensions. Elements of total war were to do with the level of technology and destruction that was deployed in military action. Others was to do with the way in which civilians were exposed to violence. And different countries engaged in different aspects of that total war to different extents.
Exposure to the different aspects of total war would depend on time and place. When the war ended, the cities of the United States were intact. Those of Germany, in ruins. Both Germany and Australia were combatants. But the degree to which those living in each country experienced total war varied immensely. The citizens of Dresden saw their city destroyed. The people of Melbourne were untouched. The extent to which war dominated the economies of each country committed to the war effort also varied.
Germany, for example, actually didn't mobilize its economy very effectively in a total way until relatively late in the war. Britain started that process much earlier.
The most complete mobilization of the home front was in the Soviet Union, where the true nature of total war was made clear by the German invasion. It was a struggle for existence, and a society had to go all in.
Right from the beginning, if you endorse the notion of total war, you're breaking down restrictions on the kind of means that can be used to achieve victory. I think total war has several key features. It is a war that is seen as an existential struggle. The nations that are involved see it as a question of survival or annihilation. Any methods that are needed to win that struggle are considered to be legitimate.